This is Pilot Officer Norman Neil Campbell. He was a Canadian chap. He fought for us during the Second World War. In 1940, he was with 242 Squadron, based at Coltishall, and he was aged 27. On the 10th of October in 1940, he was shot down at 9 o'clock in the morning. He went down with his Hurricane off the coast near Great Yarmouth, off the Norfolk coast in East Anglia, after engaging Nazi Dornier, and his body was recovered from the North Sea. Sadly, I can't find a photograph of this gentleman. Flying Officer Harold Paul Roberts was serving with the RAF. He was lastly with 222 Squadron, which, as far as I can tell, was based at RAF Hornchurch in Essex. He was with the Volunteer Reserve. And in 1941, on the 26th of April, he was sadly a victim of an air raid. He was in Horning Ferry, near Wroxham, in Norfolk. He was 44. Again, no photo that I could find with this one. And this chap was different. He wasn't in the Air Force. He was, in fact, a filmmaker with 20th Century Fox. He was a camera operator. This is Otto Walter Kanturek. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And he was 42 years old. On the 26th of June in 1941, he was killed in a mid-air collision. This chap was born in Austria. I think in his day he was pretty well known, and he was making a movie, obviously filming footage. They were flying in an Avro Anson, and they were filming two Hurricanes. When one of the Hurricanes clipped the plane they were in, and both the Hurricane and the Anson went down. It happened just after midday, about 3 miles southwest of Aylsham in Norfolk, when they collided. And both planes went down over Corston. And the other passenger was aerial photographer John Arthur Parry. He was 44 years old. Again, obviously civilian, not in the Air Force at the time, and he was buried in Aylsham. And the pilot of the doomed Anson was Sergeant Ernest William John Polden, and he was 24 years old. And at the time he was with 500 Squadron, based in Bircham, Newton, and he's buried in Poole in Dorset. And the Hurricane pilot was Pilot Officer Douglas Harold Hone. He was with 257 Squadron, based at RAF Coltishall. And thankfully he bailed out. He was fine. He lived to fight another day. And his Hurricane crashed in a farm in Aylsham. So the plane was lost, but the pilot was okay. Sergeant Vaclav Rejcha. He was in the RAF, in the Volunteer Reserve. He was aged 26 when he died on the 19th of June 1941. He was born in Czechoslovakia, but he was assigned to 257 Squadron, which was based in Northolt in West London. At the time of his death, he was flying a transition flight from Farnborough to Coltishall in a Tiger Moth. The plane spun out, the cause unknown, and went down near Southwold into the North Sea. He was in the Czech Air Force before the war, and country hopped to escape the Nazis. He also flew in the Battle of Britain with number 43 Squadron. Flying Officer James Howard Emerson, also known as Jimmy. I could not find a photo for this gentleman. He was in the RAF Volunteer Reserve He was in the 255 Squadron, which was based at Coltishall. He was aged 21 when he died on the 16th of August 1941. He was a signals officer in a Bristol Blenheim that crashed on approach at Coltishall. They lost power and hit some trees. The pilot was Sergeant Donald Crosby Fowler, also aged 21. He was buried in Gillingham in Kent. Blenheims were typically 3-man crewed, but I could only find mentions of 2 in the notes about this, so maybe it was just double crewed that day.